Let's go. Welcome back into the Skushy Sport Podcast, and kia ora to all my brothers out there, all my Usos as well. The Kiwis are the Pacific champions. You absolutely love to see it. 3 cracking games over the weekend. Kiwis and Samoa in the men's pack finals. We had the 3rd game, obviously, of the Ashes, England and Australia in Heading League, and then we had the Jillaroos and the Kiwi Ferns face off in the women's Pacific Championship finals. Obviously, we all know the results of those 3 games. I'm going to kick it off straight away with the Kiwis game against Samoa, because that was the absolute game of the weekend, I thought, in my opinion. Before we get started, guys, if you like Skushy Sports, remember to give it a massive like and a massive subscribe to the channel as well. Follow my socials, all at Skushy Sports as well, SKOOSHI Sports. For all your daily reels, YouTube videos every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and your podcast. Tuesday, we generally do, or I generally try and do a rugby league video. So we've just finally finished up our rugby league year. Kicked it off in early February with the preseason challenge, and now we've just finished in mid-November with the Pac Champs, Ashes, all of the above. Wednesday, I generally do my Skushy Sports report. So I report generally all the sporting news from around the world. So all your American sports. So obviously baseball's just finished up. NFL is in mid-season swing. NBA and NHL, they've just really kicked off now, a month sort of in. Target a little bit of golf. I talk a bit about darts, talk a bit about rugby union, talk a bit about cricket as well, heading into the summer of cricket. Super exciting stuff. And of course, Thursday, my favorite episode of the week, the Red Zone Report, where I preview every single game of the NFL, give you my best bets, my survivor picks, my super coach chat as well, and my player props as well. We're absolutely killing it at the moment. But as I said, let's move forward. Let's get straight into it. Kiwis 36-14 over Samoa. And what I want to say before I get into the actual review of this game is, if you've never been an ambassador of international footy, or you have been an ambassador of international footy, there is no bigger reason than this game as to why we need more of international footy. Are we kidding, guys? This even before we started the anthems, you got the Samoans crying, you got Bizza, just tears pouring down his face. Then you've got obviously the haka, and then you've got the Samoa. They do their part as well. Just so many Samoans just packed out the state in Sydney. It's not like it was in New Zealand or Samoa. In Sydney, so much red and blue there. So much red and blue. All the flags going crazy. They just wear their heart on their sleeve, the Samoans. It is absolutely crazy how much the game of rugby league means to the Samoa, and as also its people and its country. Unreal scenes before the game even kicks off, and the game absolutely provided as well. But we've got to get some more international footy going, guys. Are we serious? If we're serious about rugby league, international rugby league has to be the pinnacle of our sport. We can't have State of Origin be the pinnacle. We can't have grand finals. I get it, grand finals are awesome. We can't have grand finals be the absolute pinnacle of our game, though. It has to be World Cup finals. It has to be the Pac Champs at the end of the year. Has to be huge international clashes like this. We need to get the Ashes more bigger on the map. We need to get the English over here. We need to make it growing and bigger, because this weekend just absolutely proved why we need more international footy. All right, getting started into this game here, and the Samoans in the first half absolutely brought it to the Kiwis. So the Kiwis are about 3.5 point favorite. I expected them to win. I obviously thought Samoa had a little bit of revenge from a couple weeks ago. It was a big game. It was a final. It was on a neutral ground as well. And the Samoans absolutely brought it to the Kiwis in the first half. What a clash. What a game in this first... what a game overall. But in the first half particular, the standards were so high. Absolutely unbelievable. The hitting, the intensity, how hard these forwards are running at each other was just immense. And it's just absolutely crazy. And Samoa went into the halftime break up 14-6, and they deserved every single bit of that as well. I thought pretty even on the first 20 minutes. Was a really good tussle. Bizza scored in the 10th minute, a really nice sort of try. Off of Luai, a bit of individual brilliance there. Just sort of read the defense really well. Rushed up on him. He was able to sort of dummy and step and get Bizza through. And then a sort of bit of an even contest. You felt like the Kiwis were sort of starting to work their way back into it, a bit of ball. The first 20 minutes, and you got like Payne Haas up front. You've got against Fisher Harris, against Leota. It's just immense forwards. These forwards packs for both teams are absolutely crazy. I honestly think the Kiwis would beat Australia 100% tomorrow, 100%. And Samoa would go pretty bloody close as well. Just these forward packs are just dominating. And I'll get to Australia in a sec, but from watching their forward pack, I'm not enthused about it. I'm not enthused, but watching these Kiwis and Samoans go at it, man, it was so impressive. But Kiwis were working their way back into it. Dylan Brown was definitely featuring. Keanu Keeney, he was awesome in this game. He was really featuring everywhere. And then I think this Casey McLean gets held up on the left corner. Really good defense once again. And then the next play, they spread it right. Foreign goes like sort of the tunnel ball. And Simi Sasangi, one of the star sort of breakthrough players for the Canberra Raiders this year, intercepts it, takes it 60, 70 meters. Absolutely no chance of catching him. The crowd just all rose at once. It was just unreal. Like, even me as Kiwis watching it, as a Kiwi fan and like someone who's got a strong Kiwi background, also you can tell by the jerseys behind me if you're watching on YouTube, the Samoan crowd all rises wide and waving their flags. It's just a passion, and it's just, you can't help but smile in a situation like that. Even though we went down 12-0 at that stage, it was just such a good moment. You felt like once the big turning point for me was Naf White and Aaron Clark when they came on off the bench. Like, this New Zealand bench is OP as fuck, overpowered as. It's just absolutely crazy. I'll read out the interchange for us was Tamari Martin at 14, Naf White, Aaron Clark, and Xavier Willison. Three guys that are pretty consistent starters in the NRL. Or Xavier Willison is a really huge impact player generally off the bench for the Broncos. Aaron Clark, Deli M, Block of the Year, coming off the bench. Naf White, one of the best young talents going around for the Roosters at the moment and in our game. Then you got a front row of, once that comes off at Leota, like Nikora, Fisher Harris, Papali'i, Joe Tarpany was at lock. Just immense forward pack, just absolutely crazy. And you just sort of felt like New Zealand was starting to get a bit more ball, starting to sort of wear down Samoa a bit, get a bit of possession, and you just felt New Zealand was sort of panicking a little bit early on, trying to sort of keep up with Samoa in regards to like the offloads and just the specky sort of play. Kiwis just had to play their own game, and eventually they did. They scored a really nice try with Naf White. The defense just finally broke down with the Samoans, and then a late Samoan penalty at the end made this 14-6 at halftime. 14-6 at halftime, you're thinking, sheesh, have the Kiwis absolutely blown it? Like, the Samoans are well up for this. Absolutely well up for this. And the Kiwis just can't quite match the intensity and the energy at the moment. However, you felt like if they just stuck to their game plan, the Samoans may get a bit tired from how hard they went in that first half. That is exactly what happened in the second half. New Zealand win the second half 30-0. All started off the try of Papali'i. That made it 14-12. Penalty goal by Asako made it 14-all. And then just a rampaging run by Aaron Clark in the 55th minute. Just so much determination, so much intensity, so much passion to get over the line, barge through. And it's really sort of opened the floodgates up a little bit for the Samoans here. Payne Haas, he played the full 80, which is immense, but the Samoan forwards just couldn't quite keep up with the New Zealand bench. So, like, you also had Terrell May on the bench as well. Josh Papali'i. Josh Papali'i has been in the arena plenty of times for Queensland, that sort of thing. Terrell May, we know he can go a big distance when it comes to club games, but like when it comes to rep games, maybe that's why he didn't get picked for Origin. I think he only played 20 minutes. I'll have a little look later. Joe Stavanga, he's awesome as a little replacement hooker, but again, is he a guy that can really take it to the end, like 80 minutes intensity? And then obviously Chanel Harris-Tavita, he's a little guy. He's like a really good replacement, sort of 5'8" for the team there. And then, as I said, just sort of started to open up. A lot of gaps. Dylan Brown really took control. He has been so bloody impressive. And if you're a Knights fan, you've got something to really be excited about, in my opinion. I get it. 10 years, 15 million. It's a lot of bicky. It's a huge, huge contract. But if he used to play anywhere near the way he's played for the Kiwis, I think Newcastle could honestly get something to be excited about for sure, because this is not what we saw from Dylan Brown this year for the Eels, and for him to perform like this for New Zealand, for his country, definitely opens up a little bit of excitement if you are a Knights fan. They open up their season next year in Vegas. I believe they'll be playing the Cowboys, I think. Not quite sure on that one. Just looking at this, look at this through the team stats, and like I said, the Kiwis barged over in the second half, 61% possession for the whole game, had the ball for 12 more minutes than Samoa, which is a lot in rugby league. They had 13 more sets as well than the Samoans, completing at 86% as well. Generally going to win you a lot of footy games, completing 86% over 40 out of 46. Samoa 26 out of 33. Ran for over 600 more meters than the Samoans, nearly double the post contact, 9-3 line breaks. Samoans ended up having 61 tackle breaks, which is a big, big defining thing. What I love about this, and it just absolutely should be how our pinnacle of the game should go. Average play to ball speed was 3.54 for New Zealand and 3.43 for Samoa. I'll go through the Ashes ones in a little bit, but I know Australia in the first game were at 4.1, which is like you're looking at 0.7 of a second different between Samoa and Australia in one game, which is just massive to see how it's being reffed, see how it sort of gets controlled in the ruck. But was ended up being a really, really strong win for New Zealand in the end here. And as I said, Dylan Brown was probably my man of the match once again. He played so bloody well. I think he had, excuse me, just looking at his stats, he had 24 runs for 198 meters. That is just unreal for a 5'8". He just took absolute control of this game. 72 post contact. He had 1 line break, 3 line break assists, 3 try assists, 10 tackle breaks. He's probably looking at the Golden Boot, honestly, International Player of the Year. I think he's easily been the best player for the Kiwis. I think he's been better than players for Samoa and Tonga, and I definitely think he's been way better than any other Kangaroos or English player for sure. I would be shocked if he didn't get it. I said Keanu Kearney had an awesome game. He was so involved. 33 runs, 226 meters. So good to see him back. So good to see him back on the field, playing his position at fullback, playing 80-minute performance. 8 tackle breaks in there as well. He was absolutely everywhere. Whether it was off the back of offloads, first receiver, he was everywhere. Absolutely everywhere for the Kiwis. A big one for me, being a Warriors fan as well, is I've really enjoyed seeing C&K play at centre. I think this is definitely a sort of a message for Andrew Webster, if he's been watching, I'm sure he has, of how the lineup should look for the Warriors next year. I won't obviously talk too much about Warriors and NRL, but I would love to see Tain Tall-Picky at fullback and then C&K in the centres next year for the Warriors. Chance scored a beautiful try at the end. 11 runs, 72 metres. He can work on that. We know his work rate is really high. 1 line break in there, 2 tackle breaks. I've been really impressed of how solid Chance Nickel-Kluxat has been. But as I said, just really solid overall. Not too many players had a shoddy game. Phoenix Crossland at number 9. I thought he was really solid. Really good service. Really good speed out of that number 9 role. I think he's going to be playing number 9 for the Knights next year with Jaden Brayley gone there now. You're looking at a spine for the Knights at like Crossland, Brown, Sharp, and Ponga. Very, very exciting. They're from a team that had no attack in this year. Could potentially be pretty exciting for them next year. Fisher Harris and Leota, they don't always show it on the stats, but they're absolutely immense up front at the start of the game and at the end of the game as well, getting the job done. But these, like a guy like Britton Nickera, Isaiah Papali'i, 2 edge rowers who are just absolutely brutal to deal with defensively. Isaiah Papali'i scores 2 tries, 17 runs, 148 meters as well. 2 line breaks in there as well. How many tackles did he make? He made 30 tackles. So did Nickera. 3 missed tackles for Papali'i. Just so impressive. Nickera made a couple good line breaks. Should have probably scored or had an assist in that first half. Yeah, 4 tackle breaks. I thought he was everywhere as well. Really impressive by Nikora. Tarpany, we know what you're going to get from Tarpany. Just a lot of dogs in this team, man. A lot of dogs. I'm really excited for this World Cup next year. There are a lot of dogs in this Kiwi team. I think they can really take it to Australia next year in the World Cup if they get the chance to meet. And of course, the boy, Nafahu White, off the bench. He was just incredible. Scored a try himself. He played 46 minutes in this one. He ran 20 runs for 203 meters. He had the second most meters for the Kiwis, and he played 46 minutes. Keanu Keeney topped it. He outran absolutely everyone. What a machine. 75 post-contact. 2 line breaks in there. 7 tackle breaks. Absolutely unreal. 13 tackles in there as well. Aaron Clark was just immense. Obviously, the Dally M lock of the year. Easily the Warriors' best buy of the year. Probably obviously the best Warriors player of the year, in my opinion. How many minutes? He only played 35 minutes. He still had 12 runs, 106 meters. He scored a try. Had a line break, 2 line break assists, a try assist as well. Just absolutely cleaned up against the Samoan team. Gone to Samoa a little bit because it was quite easy to see. I'll talk about Kiwis, but quite easy to see the Kiwis' tactic in this one here. They just fed the ball plenty to the left. It looked like. Sorry, to the right. So they're targeting Blaise Talangi defensively all bloody afternoon. They made him make, 30-something tackles? Something absolutely ridiculous. 33 tackles, and he had 6 missed. Yeah, so his partner, Isaac Tungo, he had 25 tackles. So close to 60 tackles combined for those two together, who were standing next to each other. 14 missed tackles. It was clear to see the game plan that the Kiwis had, and it was good to see that they ended up sticking to it and mastered it in the end there. Shame for Murray Talangi. He went off in the first half in this one. A bit of a knee injury. Hope he's doing okay. I thought Dean Mariner, I thought he scored. I honestly thought that was a try, in all honesty. I would have given that. Looks like the ball was down. Probably a little bit of a quiet night for him. 81 run meters, 9 runs. Didn't really target his side too much defensively. But we know his talent that he's got. Hopefully he should be able to slip back into that Broncos team next year. Sorry, he was in the wing, excuse me. Like Roger and Bizza were awesome at the back as well. Both had sort of over 20 runs, over 150 meters. Usually you see close to 200 for Bizza, even 200 for Roger. Payne Haas played 80 minutes in this one. 80 bloody minutes. He's just an absolute workhorse, absolute warrior. I really hope he sticks to NRL and doesn't go to R360. That would be a huge, huge loss for Rugby League. Despite him playing 80 minutes, he only had 14 runs for 107 meters. So they sort of contained him pretty well. Had 7 tackle breaks still. They made him make 49 tackles, and he made 4 missed tackles out of that. So really targeted Payne Haas and really sort of locked him up pretty well. I don't think he had any offloads as well. Like, I don't think Samoa were bad. I just think like they just sort of ran out of legs in the end there. Like Terrell May, 23 minutes. I'm not sure what's doing there. Like 3 runs, 18 meters. I don't know what to sort of think of that. Be interesting to see how he obviously goes at Clubland back next year with the Tigers. 20 tackles in there, no missed. Like, hard to sort of discredit him. But I thought Samoa were awesome in the first half. One of the better first halves of footy I've mostly seen. And I think Samoa's got a lot to look up to for sure coming into the World Cup next year. If they can make another final, that would be awesome for them. If they keep Payne Haas there, that would be even better for them. But definitely a lot to work to for Samoa. Fitness is obviously a big one for them. But all about the Kiwis for me in this one. Really exciting how next year's World Cup is going to go in this one here. Crossing over to the last game of the Ashes. Excuse me. And Australia getting the win in this one. 30 points to 8. Completing the sweep. 3-0 in this one. Winning the series, what was it, 70 to 20 or 70 to 18 in the end? So 52-point difference across the 3 games. England managed to only score 3 tries throughout the whole series. They kicked more penalty goals than tries. I think they kicked 3 penalty goals and they scored 2 bloody tries. I thought, I'm going to start with England quickly because I just thought You know what? I thought they stuck in this game for quite a lot of it, and you've looked at the stats as well. The stats are pretty bloody even as well. The attack is just woeful. It's just like, and I think that's being nice. It was just woeful, boring. Nothing really going on. Like the one try came off a Jeslin and line break in his own half, which is really good play. Passed it off. Put a kick in through for George Williams and scored a really good try there. But the amount of opportunity that they had inside that Kangaroos 20, which I think was quite a bit across the whole series. They should have been scoring a lot more points, in my opinion. Only had 2 line breaks in there. They didn't have many the whole series. Kangaroos missed a lot of tackles this series as well, defensively it seemed, and then England could not capitalise. And just, I'm not sure. The attack was just woeful. I'm not disgruntling the effort at all in this game. I thought it was a lot better than game 1, similar to sort of how it was in game 2. They were only down 12-8 at halftime. They scored that late try. They were down 12-8 at halftime. They were well in the game. And then they concede 3 tries in the last 20 minutes to lose this one 30-8. Just the sort of brilliance of Australia just sort of took over a little bit in the end. A little bit of sort of defense lapse. Harry Grant scored a relatively easy try. Like, you know, Harry Grant, when he sees that space, he's just going to go for it every single fucking time. And that's what he did under the sticks. And then Reece Walsh scoring 2 tries late in the game here to sweep the series. But honestly, like 50-50 possession, very even with the ball. Kangaroos again in the 60 percentile or in the 60% for completion rate. I don't think they've had any game in the series over 70% completion rate. 28 out of 42. And they still managed to win these games by 20 plus. Like, the runs are very similar. The run meters are very similar. Post-contact, very similar. 7-2 line breaks is a big change, big difference for sure. Very similar missed tackles. Very similar average set distance. Very similar play to ball speed as well. Like, Australia at 3.67. A little bit slower than like what you saw with Samoa. That was way quicker than sort of what it was in Game 2 and Game 1. The stats are so bloody even in this game, guys. Like, England forced 3 dropouts. Like, they had their opportunities in this game. Just did not take them whatsoever. Just did not take them. And the game started really hot, right? Like, it started with a Harry Grant sort of line break straight through the middle on the first set. Really sort of put the pressure on the English a little bit there. And then they score with the Fox in about the 4th minute. Really good pass by Munster straight over the top there. But I thought he's been pretty solid, I think, this series. Honestly, like, Munster got man of the series. I don't think there's been too much of a standout from a Kangaroos perspective in this series. I mean, Reece Walsh was pretty handy, but he was pretty quiet in Game 2. He obviously scored a try. He scored a double in Game 1 and Game 2 as well. So 4 tries across the series. I think he's most likely going to be the Australian fullback next year. All going well, he should be the Queensland fullback. Home World Cup as well. You probably are expecting it. As I said, he got a double. Fox got the first try as well. Harry Grant scored, and then Hudson Young scored the second try in the first half there. Again, I just think they've been like solid. I think they've been okay. No one's really stood out to me. Like, Tino's been okay. Pat Carrigan's been okay in the middle. Isaiah Yo's been okay. Angus Crichton obviously scored a double in the first game. Again, pretty quiet Game 2 and Game 3, I thought. Nwangani Tawase, I thought, he's a freak, but I thought he had pretty average. Like, he tried to have his moments and didn't really pull them off. Like, he had 15 runs, 149 meters, like, not too bad. 35 post contact, had a line break, 2 tackle breaks. It's just a bit meh. Like, honestly, like, this series, I thought it was pretty boring. I thought it was pretty blasé. I was so excited for this series as a neutral fan of these two teams. These two teams playing each other for the first time, 23 years in an Ashes series. English home soil, 3 games. I thought they would be pretty tightly contested, and it was pretty blasé. Like, you look at these games compared to the Kiwis and Samoa game on Sunday, a world of difference. And that's exactly why I think, like, either Samoa can compete, and I think the Kiwis, if they played next weekend, they would beat Australia. Like, this 4-pack is way better than Australia's, I think, at the moment. You could argue, like, the back line is pretty sort of similar. Like, you still got Jerome Hughes to come back for the Kiwis as well. Just, I wasn't impressed by the Kangaroos. To be the number one ranked country in the world easily for rugby league, and to put out 3 pity blase performances, I'm not impressed. And I wasn't watching them going like, whoa, they're looking really good. They're finally gelling together. They just never really looked like they all clicked together. And a big talking point for me is Nathan Cleary. He's got given the 7 jersey again. He gets given it in Origin. Obviously, he's had so much success at Clubland. Don't get me wrong. I 100% understand that. He didn't win this series with New South Wales again when they were favourites. Like, Moses steps in Game 3 in the decider, 2024, wins it. Same with Game 2 as well. I thought they probably could have given Moses a chance in Game 3 for this one. Cleary was pretty average in these 3 games. I'm not saying he was bad. I'm not saying he was fantastic. I just thought he was average. Like, you know what I mean? I thought Tom Dearden had a very similar effect when he came on. I thought Moses probably would have had a little bit better effect. Cleary really didn't have his moment in any of this series. He did have a 40-20 in the first game, but then not too much else was happening. Like, he was kicking the goals. Like, he had some runs. Like, he had 13 runs, 100 meters in this game. Like, no try assists, no tries in that game, no line breaks, no line break assist. You kind of felt like, Reece Walsh, he's had 4 tries. Munster, he's been man of the series. Harry Grant, he got man of the match. You kind of felt the other players in the spine really sort of contributed to this team in some shape of a form. But Nathan, he just sort of went missing. Like, he didn't go missing, but you know what I mean? Like, you all this talk about Cleary when it gets to Origin time. Can he dominate an Origin series? Without question, we know how dominant he is at Clubland. Gets to Origin, always a talk. Can he dominate it? Is this finally the time? And it just doesn't quite happen. I thought he played well Game 1 this year, and then he'd really get a good chance to lead this Australian team to a smashing of the Ashes, right? And they did. But there's other players on this team that contributed a lot more to the scoreline than what Nathan Cleary did. And it does make you think of what he is like as a player, how this shapes his future at rep level. Should Moses be the 7 for the Kangaroos and New South Wales Blues? There's a very good chance he's going to be the halfback at this World Cup next year, but if they are very serious, I think they have to make the call at some stage and give Moses the 7 jersey in this one here. I was pretty disappointed with Nathan Cleary in this one. I don't want to keep bagging on about him, but pretty average. I get it. Kangaroos have got some troops to come back. Latrell Mitchell, your Turbos, your Xavier Coates. But man, and they're missing Payne Haas because he's gone to Samoa. But man, like, Hudson Young at right edge, I get it. He scored a few tries, but get Jacob Preston. Just get a blood in, blood out right edge second rower in there. I don't know. It was just so blasé by the Kangaroos. I just really wasn't impressed. And they've got a home World Cup next year. They're fully expected to win it. Fully expected. But 1 year out, I am not shocked if they do not win this World Cup next year, based on the performances we're seeing from Australia this series and what we're seeing from New Zealand and even Samoa in this Pac Championships. Talk about England a little bit stats-wise, and we mentioned a big thing last week was their forwards competed a whole lot better. I thought Mike McMicken had a really solid game. 14 runs, 97 metres in 55 minutes. Matty Lees, 6 runs, 49 metres in 36 minutes. You sort of expect a little bit better, but again, they had the same sort of metres as Australia did. Thought Mikey Lewis, when he had to come at fullback, sort of did a job. Obviously, AJ Brimson got injured pretty early on in this one, done a shoulder. Alex Walmsley was very solid off the bench. 13 runs, 124 metres. I thought Morgan Smithies as well. But this backline is just so blasé. Like, the only person to go over 100 metres in this backline is Mikey Lewis as well. But Herbie Farnworth ran the most metres in this English team with 126. it's just not enough to compete against a team like Australia, and you're just going to get hurt. I get it. They're trying to give Herbie a good ball, all that sort of thing. But at any point, if you guys watched these ones at early in the morning, did you think he had really good opportunities to score tries? I don't really think so. Yeah, just very sort of average. Not too much sort of happening. I think Kangaroos have a lot to work on. I don't know if it's a coaching thing. I don't know if they need time to gel. You don't get much time to gel in these sort of leagues when you've got a World Cup next year. Obviously, don't get much time between NRL and World Cup as well. Very, very interesting. Look, they got the win by 22 points in the end. Harry Grant looked very good. He's the clear best hooker still in the world for me at the moment. But forward pack wise, New Zealand, any day of the week. Any day of the week. They, look, your Fisher Harris, your Leotas, your Nickeras, your Naff Whites, your Aaron Clarks, they compete way better than Carrigan, Tino, Lindsay Collins, Kaloa Matangi. I think he's okay. He only played 15 minutes. Ruben Cotter as well. I talk about the dogs on the New Zealand team, right? Like your Tarpanés, your Fisher Harris, like your Leotas, real big dogs, right? You know they're going to take it to the game every single time. And I'm not discounting Carrigan, I'm not discounting Tino, but can you really see the dog in them compared to these other, like the other New Zealand boys? I'm not quite sure. Like, who do you trust more to have a good game, like a really get in your face? Isaiah Yeo or Joe Tarpany at lock? Joe Tarpany for me. Who do you want more starting at your front row? Pat Carrigan or Tino in a big game? Or Leota and Fisher Harris? Leota and Fisher Harris for me there. Going to be super interesting to see how this World Cup goes next year. I'm so curious. It's a year away. It's so long. We've got a full NRL season in between now and then. Still got Jerome Hughes to come back for New Zealand. You still got Ronnie Mulatalo to come back for New Zealand as well. It is going to be an epic, epic World Cup. We've literally got 4 teams, even England, that are looking pretty bloody good for this World Cup. If England can work on a few things, I seriously think they can contend. They lost against the semi in the last World Cup against Samoa. You also got Tonga. They're getting better and better and better. Now led by Saya Katoa. They are going to be looking awesome, I think, for the World Cup next year. Moving on to the last game I am reviewing for the year. For the year. Isn't that unbelievable? A whole year of rugby league is done and dusted, but it's only less than 3 months away until we're back into it, and that is the Jillaroos smacking the Kiwi Ferns 40-8. In this one here, the rematch from last week where the Jillaroos won, I think it was 10-4. All Jillaroos in this one absolutely smacked Kiwis right from the get-go as well. Second minute, Olivia Kernick, one of my favourite players in the NRLW, the lock for the Roosters, lock for New South Wales, lock for Australia. She played awesome in the grand final for the Roosters. She played awesome the year before as well. She is so bloody consistent. She opened up the scoring for Australia in this one, and then it was just hard for the Kiwi Ferns to get back into this one here. Julia Robinson, yet again, scores 2 tries. The first one, again, was like a replica almost of her try she scored against Samoa. Just absolute brilliance in the air. Absolute brilliance. And she usually has some really decent run meters. So she scored 2 tries. She had 17 runs, 157. That's pretty low by her standards, honestly. 37 post contact, 2 line breaks, 2 tackle breaks in there as well, 2 offloads. She's an incredible player, one of my favorites on the NRLW, a centre for the Broncos. Leading the run meters was Isabel Kelly at centre, and she absolutely blitzed the Kiwi Ferns. 16 runs, 190 metres in this one. Didn't have a try or a try assist or a line break or a line assist. Just some good old ticker hard work. 3 tackle breaks in this one as well. And I thought Jakaya Whitfield as well, the winger for I think she's for the Cowboys. 30 runs, 138 meters. She absolute speedster. Absolute speedster. She absolutely crushed it as well. It was just all Jillaroos from start to finish. Tamika Upton absolutely blitzed it. She scored a try herself. She had 2 line breaks. I believe she has contributed in a couple as well. She is just unreal. She's easily the best women's rugby league player on the planet for me. All 5 of the back line in Australia all went over 100 meters in this one here. Absolutely crazy numbers. And then you got one of their props, Jessica Elliston, Kezzy Apps, Yasmin Clydesdale, all over 100 meters as well. Even Jess Surges as well, off the bench in 26 minutes. 5 runs for 111 meters. It's absolutely immense. So absolutely killed the Kiwi Ferns all around the board. Fair play for the Kiwi Ferns, sticking in there. Scored the first try the second half to make it somewhat interesting. Ended up scoring 2 tries. So with Shanice Parker and Taisha Nikki Nasio. But if I was to look at the stats in this one, it would be all Jillaroos in this one here. Very similar possession, actually. And Jillaroos actually had a less completion rate, which is quite surprising. But more run meters, 10-5 line breaks. New Zealand had more missed tackles as well. Just absolutely killed them. They seem to, a lot of the Australian tries, they seem to have a lot of open space in this one here. So bit disappointing for the Kiwi Ferns. Would have been nice to do the double, but that is okay. That is footy. Australia is a very, very good side. Pretty much an NRLW all-star team, literally. They just absolutely stacked. You've obviously got some immense players for the Kiwi Ferns, like Yamela Hifungers, Abigail Roach, Racine McGregor. Some really talented Kiwis on this team. But you look at this Australian team, and they're all just superstars of their NRLW team. Tamika Upton, Julie Robinson, Isabel Kelly, Penatani Gray, Whitfield, Brigham Shaw, just won a premiership with the Broncos. Jessie Southwell, going to the Broncos. Ellie Johnson, she plays for New South Wales. Jessica Elliston, she's immense. Kezzy Apps, Olivia Koenig, just so, like, and then Jess Surges, she's on the bench. Like, just crazy team by Australia. They were easily the better team. Congratulations to the Jillaroos. Absolutely deserved it in this one here. But that will do it for the last ever review this year in 2025 for your rugby league. Reviewing the Pac Champs final for your men's and women's. The Kiwis getting the dub over Samoa. Absolute my boys, let's go. Jillaroos getting the win over the Kiwi Ferns 40-8 in the women's final, and then top it off with the Kangaroos finishing the sweep against England 30-8 in this one there. However, I did think it was a bit disappointing. So thank you so much for watching, guys. This has been the Squishy Sport Podcast. As I said, remember to hit a massive like and a subscribe. Let me know what sort of content you guys want to see for the off season. I will be planning my next rugby league video for next week to see what I sort of can do. Maybe I'll start reviewing NFL in an individual video. I'm not quite sure yet. But thank you so much for watching, guys. Absolutely appreciate all the views I've gotten for my rugby league reviews that I started sort of in July and August. Cannot wait to keep producing rugby league content for you. Next year is going to be an immense year. My first full year covering the NRL and rugby league. I cannot wait. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and cheers.